In honor of AC/DC's 2025 tour, we continue with our AC/DC extravaganza. In this episode, we're going to be doing a comparison of Bon Scott versus Brian Johnson. Next on Rock and Roll Seniors.
Do we have the shirt check? Don't we start with the shirt check?
No.
Yes.
Did I already throw you off? Are you already not going to know what you're going to say
I was going to
next?
say that we're going to be talking about AC/DC because we got a tour coming in April 2025, their first one in 10 years, and we're going to discuss who's our favorite singer of the two eras of AC/DC, Bon Scott or Brian Johnson. And before that, we're going to be doing
Our shirt check.
a shirt check.
All right.
There we go.
All right. So
Shirt
today,
check time.
Today, I have Vakken 2022. You're going to see a lot of this one. But, yep, this is...
If you watch your previous two videos, this is funny.
Yeah. If you haven't, then
It's
Well-
back in 2022.
watch the next two. All right. What do you got?
I'm wearing Dee
Wait.
Snider.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah,
You're naked.
check this out. Saw him in 2019 in the 80s cruise, and let me tell you, it was a great show. He played two shows. We're supposed to only see one, but I snuck into the second show. The man is jumping for the whole hour show. He put a really great show, and I got a T-shirt, and he was really cool.
Why you had to sneak into the second show?
Yeah.
Because
And-
they split you into like the blue show and the red show.
I thought it was like, is he charging
I
and
wasn't
then-
sneaking
on
in
top of
after
what you
the
pay
show
on the- for
started,
the
they just
cruise?
let
and they
people
check
in.
your ID,
Yeah,
but
after,
yeah.
And dude, I gotta key you in on something. If you go 2, but you put your thumb out, that's 3.
Okay, 2.
There you go.
Peace.
Okay.
So, and it was a really good show, and it's like to wear this.
Nice. I'm wearing an AC/DC 1979 Highway to Hell tour with the crew currently. I don't know if this is like a real shirt, like if they used to wear this back in the day.
That's
But
AliExpress.
You saw the
stuff.
79 tour?
yeah, from the Highway to Hell. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
That's
and
AliExpress.
I like the color when I saw it, so I bought it.
I
I
would've been
bought it
like-
years ago. I think I have this shirt for like
I would have
maybe
been 10. or
7,
11.
8 years maybe, and I still fits. So I guess that's a good thing that
I
still
was a
fits.
teenager.
So yeah, but this is
You're the old one.
AC/DC red shirt, Highway to Hell 79.
Very cool
Now,
shirt.
Papa, what you got?
Okay, in my case, because we're talking about AC/DC, this is,
Papa's got the coolest AC/DC T-shirt.
this
Yeah.
is a special edition of Rolling Stone.
Yeah, I had that magazine. I don't know what happened. I lost
AC/DC,
it.
you know, with Brian
Watch
Johnson
the other
here,
two AC/DC
Malcolm.
episodes so you can see the cool shirts that he had.
Yeah, so special edition from Rolling Stone. So
What year? What year was that? Do you know?
I think that was the Black Eyes.
I think
Black
it's
Eyes
Black
album,
Eyes.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah, because it's weird. There's no Cliff Williams in the picture, but
because it cannot be stiff upper lip because if you see there's Taylor Swift in there. So
Oh, right.
and she wasn't around in the 2000s. So I mean the year 2000 when stiff upper lip came out. I think this was.
cool.
I think that was
So probably-
2008.
I think it was.
I think it was for Black Eyes,
Eyes.
2008,
Yeah.
2009.
And
So,
it makes sense. Yeah, Black Ice made it number 1. So yeah, it does make sense. So today in this episode, we are gonna be talking.
What?
Who do we prefer? Do we prefer Bon Scott as lead singer of the band or Brian Johnson?
Don't
Yes.
make me choose. Why are you making me choose? Don't do that. Don't. That's just
But
mean.
That's
it's
the
cruel.
discussion that
Wait,
we're gonna have.
Wait.
do we have
Don't
to because
make me choose.
Well, we'll have to
Don't-
choose,
it-
but
is
we're
it-
gonna have a discussion about
Oh,
who's
okay.
our
isn't the
favorite.
answer obvious?
Yeah, well, it is, but let's go back a little bit of history about them, or comparisons between them. Bon Scott joined AC/DC when he was 27 years old. He
old
had
man then.
yes, I did some research, believe it or not. So he had a previous band called Fahrenheit that failed. They traveled to
Well, yeah, because they should have been in
they
Celsius.
went to England to try to find fortune, and they spent 2 years there, but they couldn't. They brought a crew and everything, and they didn't sell enough. And the reason they went to the UK instead of the United States is because Bon Scott got busted with marijuana in Australia, and he couldn't get a visa to come
Stupid.
to the United States.
Yeah, 'cause
Stupid.
we were very uptight.
Getting people in
Yeah.
jail for marijuana.
But
Yeah.
isn't that like the most Bon Scott thing?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Other than dying, but yeah.
So his story is that he lost the gig. He didn't know what to do. He just got a normal job. Apparently, he was riding a lot of motorcycles very recklessly, and he had a really bad accident and had
that's
to
what
go to
killed
the
him?
hospital. No, that did not kill him,
Oh.
but it kept in his hometown of Adelaide. And while he was
I
there,
think it's Adeline,
Adelaide, Australia.
not Lynn. Line.
Adelaide, yes.
But I could be wrong because I'm not Australian.
Yeah, they say it funny. So he was there while AC/DC got rid of their previous singer, was looking
Who was
for.
their previous singer?
Don't remember the name because I don't think it's relevant.
He didn't go on
It's
to do
not.
something
He
else.
didn't do anything.
It is
He
not.
wasn't
It is
that
not
good.
relevant.
It wasn't
at
like
all.
afterward they went, look, he could have been
And
like how John Bush
and
never
he was
really,
kind of
you know.
depressed and after the accident, and they were looking for a singer, and
That's how it happened.
it happened.
magic happened.
He was 27, and Angus John was 16 when he joined the band. So there was a huge
So he's like a
disparity
pedo.
in age, and he was the point that he didn't think he was going to be a singer anymore, but he joined the band. And the same story is with Brian Johnson. He was also in a band called Geordie.
He was
and-
busted for weed?
No,
No,
he wasn't
no.
busted for
Well,
weed.
you said it was the same story.
Well, kind of. Like he was in a band called Geordie. It didn't go anywhere.
They went to the UK?
So he had a little money.
So this is not the same story.
You have to listen to the whole thing.
All right,
So he had a band that failed.
Don't be impatient, Dave.
He opened a garage, fixing old cars.
If this is a story, like,
he had
you
a
should
re-
be cuddling me on the couch while he tells me the story.
He had already thought
Don't
that
blush.
he
He's
was
blushing.
he was 32. He didn't think that he had a career in music anymore, and
Yeah, he's
that's
old.
what
He's washed
he
up.
joined AC/DC. And funny enough, Bon Scott has seen him in his previous band, Geordie, and he had told the guys, "Hey, I really like the singer of this band because I love his wailing when he screams." And the story is that he was having appendicitis.
Something like
during-
that.
He was having appendicitis during that
he really
show,
was screaming.
and he had to be rushed to the hospital after the gig.
Wow.
Anyway, they remember that Bon Scott had recommended him, and somebody else also
So
recommended
Bon Scott
him.
picked his own replacement?
And yes,
Sounds like it in a way.
Yes.
That's
That's fake
Yeah,
right there.
I
man.
mean, he
That's-
didn't pick it, but he said,
No,
"Yeah,
that's
I
metal.
saw this guy,
That's metal.
and he was something else." And somebody else recommended to AC/DC the same name, and apparently they went, "Okay, two people talk about this guy," so they brought him to England, and he did a couple auditions, and he joined the band, and that was 3 months after the.
they brought him all the way to the UK to audition?
Yep.
Wow, that seems extreme.
Yep.
Seems like an
But that's
expense
metal.
that,
But
you
that's
know.
metal, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Apparently, he didn't believe it because he got a call from, I guess they had an agent in Germany that called Brian Johnson, and he didn't believe it. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, why would you believe that?
AC/DC.
Yeah,
yeah,
AC/DC,
sure,
sure,
mhm,
yeah.
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 But yeah, he joined, and he was 32 years old when he joined AC/DC.
How old were the other guys then? They would have been in their 20s by then, right?
Yeah, it was.
So
I
there's
guess
not such
Bon-
the huge age difference.
Bon
So he's
Scott-
not a pedo at this
Bon
point.
Scott was there 6 years, and Angus John was 16 when Bon Scott joined. So I guess he would have been
22,
22, and he was 32. So yeah, there was that gap of 10 years. Same thing.
You have a phone. Use the calculator.
Yeah, same thing with
What's a calculator?
with Bon Scott being 11 years older than Angus Young, and Brian Johnson being about 10 years also older than when he joined. So that's the backstory.
So you're saying
You gotta love
the dudes
Google.
have a thing
You can
for
find
older
anything
guys.
now.
Yes, so they got a thing for all the guys. Yep. So
So it's like daddy issues.
you guys want to jump in and who you prefer as singer?
Well, all I can say is, I mean, it's really difficult. I mean, both
Is it
are,
really?
yeah, really great
It
singers.
is difficult.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I mean,
What's wrong with you?
the only difference here is, for example, I'm gonna make an example from Van Halen. I mean, David Lee Roth, and he was out of the band because whatever reason, and he was replaced with Sammy Hagar.
I know it
In
sounds
this
nasty.
case, yeah, in this case was that Bon Scott died, and they replaced. I mean, they replaced him with Brian Johnson. So I mean,
Yeah, that's a totally different
it's
thing.
it's a totally different thing. The fight. So
Yeah.
like we say in another episode, I don't know what happens if Bon Scott were alive. So it will be that they will have the same success. I think so.
I think
I think so.
I think we still would have got it back. in
As a
black.
front, yeah.
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 Not back in black, but it would probably been
Be
Shoot
back
to
in
Thrill.
Black-ish.
Yeah, Because they have
Yeah.
some songs that they have written,
Yeah.
but Back in Black is in honor of Bon Scott.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we wouldn't
Okay.
have that song.
Solid.
Which I don't think that's such a bad thing because they have played it so much.
We will have a fly on the wall, probably more successful.
I
Something,
think-
something like that.
Both have done great, but I think what's really something else is like Bon Scott was only 6 years with AC/DC.
Yeah.
And 5 albums. And Brian Johnson has been with them for, was that 40?
From the
40
80s,
years?
so, I mean, yeah,
45 years since 1980.
44, yeah. I don't know.
So 11 albums with them. And Bon Scott had 5 with AC/DC.
Yeah,
And
this is one of those things where it's don't make me choose. It's not
Yeah,
like,
again, it's really difficult. I mean,
Yeah.
Choose.
to go back to your Van Halen, Van Hagar thing,
analogy.
analogy.
yeah, no, yeah. It's a different situation.
It's, not only is it a totally different situation, but again, like maybe if Dave had, kicked off and they got somebody that sounded like Dave,
Right, because it's different. Yes.
Yes,
They-
different
they
thing.
had no
Like,
choice.
again,
that
They
had no
fix-
choice. That we had to
they
find
had to
somebody.
find
That's it.
this
somebody.
wasn't we were being greedy assholes
And-
and
and
we
f-
want to make the most money possible.
Yeah.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
And from the story, it seems like Bon had given okay. Hey, I like that way that
Yeah.
guy sings. So, but the way I usually, every time I have that same issue of trying to choose between two singers, the way I put it, if I'm at a rock festival and the one stage is playing AC/DC with Bon Scott, and one stage is playing AC/DC with Brian
Easy
Johnson,
answer.
and
Easy
they're
answer.
playing at the
No,
same
don't
time.
make me choose.
Because when you all know when
Easy
you
answer.
go to a festival,
yeah,
you see like the 3-4 bands that you love, and when you see the schedule, they all play at the same fucking time, and you have to choose.
No.
So
Well,
if I
that
got
would be a
Bon Scott
different-
playing
that would be a different,
on that stage,
different-
and
I
I,
mean-
got Brian Johnson playing
Well,
on that
see,
stage, I'm gonna go see
Bon
Bon
Scott.
Scott.
Well, I would say the same thing because I never seen Bon Scott live.
Yes,
So
and it's
that,
not fair,
that's why.
because
Okay, Bon
we-
Scott is
we
there.
have
I'm
no
going there.
chance of seeing Bon Scott. That is
Right.
true.
Yeah.
Another,
So,
another way,
What year did
another
he
way I
die?
see it.
80,
80,
79?
1980.
1980.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was 11 or 12 years old. I never got the chance to see him.
Yeah, to compare, yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen.
Yeah, it's just
Brian
different,
Johnson.
but
yeah,
because
so
we
it's-
with Brian Johnson, everybody can see it.
Yep.
So
I'll use the Van Halen example again. I got to see him with David Lee Roth. I saw
You
the
got the chance to
1984
see them,
tour,
yeah.
and then I had the chance to see them with the No Talent Ass Clown, and I didn't go see them. So
Sammy.
who?
Sammy,
His name is Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar.
Yeah,
he's a
same
huge,
thing.
he's a huge fan. So.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
so-
sorry. I'm
The
just
way
sorry.
I see it,
Anyway,
the way I see it, what I picked Bon Scott.
there with what's his name?
It's like I put there's different, obviously. Bon Scott did less albums than
Yes.
Brian,
But-
but when you put all the songs that Bon did, all the songs that Brian did, who has less crappier songs?
That's not really fair either.
Yeah.
'cause
You got more
again,
albums with Brian
you got more
Johnson, so
Brian- yeah, you got more
again,
albums.
he
Well,
died.
still,
So
You got more chances
remember,
to
they-
get
they
the
all
hit song.
sound
I don't know.
about
That's
the
that's
same.
that's what
Yeah.
that's what I.
Okay, another way of looking at it, which I did, Spotify, they have the top 10 songs by streams. The top 10, 6 are from Brian Johnson,
Back in Black.
4 are from Bon Scott, and out of the 6 of Brian Johnson, 4 are from Back in Black.
Well, okay, just
So you got
using that
11
right
albums,
there, right?
11
yes,
albums.
If you do it as a proportion of what
Yes,
they did, a
you got
percentage,
4 from
yep.
one album, 2 from the other 10 albums,
Yeah,
and
So basically,
4 from.
so
the only
wisdom of the crowd.
great album that they did with Brian Johnson is Back in Black.
Well, is that
No,
the more
With-
streams,
and then with Bon Scott, it's better albums. Let's put it that way.
yes, I will
And you know,
say that
the-
album per album, there are better Bon Scott as a whole album, but you cannot discard the discography that Brian Johnson has
No,
put
no, I-
together.
no, I-
because listening to all
I
their
haven't, but-
albums,
Yeah.
all 11 albums this week, there's a ton of hits.
yeah,
AC/DC has, but like in some
Usually a
of them,
band.
there's like one good song per album. But because there's 11, there's
Let's
a
put
lot.
it this way, like similar to what you mentioned about the festival, but and I think I said this when we did this similar episode with the Van Halen thing. Who you would rather
Yeah, Van
see.
Halen versus Van Hager. Go look at it.
Go look at it.
Yeah.
Who you rather see?
I wasn't in that one. The other guy was. Who
Oh yeah, you were in the bathroom.
Jim, yeah, the
You were in the
other-
bathroom pooping or
the other
something
day.
for days. You have Bon Scott. AC/DC with Bon Scott on their highest peak will be the 1979
Highway to Hell. Yeah,
Tour.
that's it.
You have AC/DC, which I mean, I wouldn't.
Oh, Brian Johnson
they
with Back
still-
in Black. I
they
mean,
still- no, I would say the. their
if you
peak
say
peak-
Thunderstruck, I understand, but you say Back in Black against Highway to Hell.
No, when I say they were obviously got big with Back in Black.
Here's the thing with Back in Black in the time, because
Well, wait,
that's kind of strange. Well,
Yeah,
okay, finish
no, I
your
was
thing,
gonna say,
finish your
yeah,
thing.
you have Bon Scott,
Yeah.
1979, and then you have AC/DC with Brian Johnson when they did that show in Moscow when there was like
Yeah, Monster of
Rock
Rock.
or
Yeah, it was
whatever it was.
AC/DC, Metallica. You know.
which one would you pick of those two? Like to me, that AC/DC when they did that show, that I don't think they have they even topped that? I mean, obviously they had done festivals after that, but that show was like what 500,000 people or something like that. So who you would pick? To me, that's as the peak of at that moment. I still pick Bon Scott, even though this one like more
the
people.
The thing is that they wouldn't have gotten to that point.
And Bon Scott is a better singer.
Without yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's true, but
You got
Yeah.
Bon Scott
That's it, show over.
wailing versus Brian Johnson screeching, which I really like. I really like his voice, but Bon Scott is something else. Plus, I really enjoy, AC/DC does a lot of very slow, bluesy songs.
and the way
I do enjoy Bon Scott's voice better in those
those
type
songs,
of
yeah,
songs.
it's
like
way
rock
better-
and
it's
roll
way
sound,
better.
noise pollution.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So here's also a thing about Back in Black. It's at that time in their career. So bands that have a good long arc, usually they hit their stride like fourth or fifth album. Like they don't produce their masterpiece until they're either in their late 20s, early 30s. Something like Green Day with, American Idiot.
Right,
What was
right.
that, like their fourth album? Sgt. Pepper for the Beatles. The Back in Black, sort of the same way. It falls into that same point in their life where if
Yeah.
they were going to produce an album like that, that was the time they were going to do it. So,
Yeah.
to give Brian Johnson credit for that, I think
Right.
it might have been a different album, but it would have hit
Yeah, because
that
after
spot.
Highway to Hell, they were at the cusp of just blowing
making
up.
that album.
They're
Yeah.
going mainstream
But-
because they were like in the rock circles. They were known, but they weren't mainstream. Back in Black
they were
made them.
they were at the point in their careers where they had learned what they were doing. They were
Yep.
comfortable with what they were doing, and that they would have nailed it. Whatever that next album was, in this case, Back in Black. But
and they already had a few songs written for the album
you're right.
prior to Brian Johnson.
So just to recap, I'm gonna choose Brian Johnson. I mean, again,
okay.
really difficult, but again, like I said in other episodes, the first time that I heard AC/DC was with Back in Black. I mean,
Wrong answer.
yeah. So
me-
Brian Johnson.
Wait.
Let me say this.
That can't be a wrong
Pop will
answer for this.
elaborate. So Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson for number 3. No. Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson for.
Tell us why.
Yeah, no, that's it. Again, the first time that I heard AC/DC, my first memory of AC/DC was with Brian Johnson. That's it. I mean,
Well, most people nowadays.
So-
that's- yeah.
That is.
and
yeah.
after a lot of albums, a couple of albums, that's what that I find out. Oh, there's another singer with AC/DC, Bon Scott, that I saw the poster. Said, who's that guy? And that's what he was the original singer of AC/DC. Oh, and that's what I started to listen to Bon Scott again. But I just always say Brian Johnson. That's it. Back in
Bon
Black.
Scott is the right answer.
Yep.
Like, and you had to put that's
Bon
one.
Scott taking his shirt off after the second song.
I was gonna
and
say.
just
Yeah.
going
I was
crazy.
gonna say, can Brian Johnson pull
No.
the best like Bon Scott, the jeans best?
No.
Best? No. Bon Scott is the right answer.
Yeah.
Simple.
But he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Yep. So
So 3 Bon, 1
three
Brian.
Bons, one Brian. They're both great singers. They both created great songs. So, is there anything else to say?
No.
Like and subscribe.
We just had this. Oh, I thought you could move the bell. What the heck?
Wait, move that from front of it.
Oh yeah. Oops. Sorry.
Watch out
they
with
can see.
Angus.
Unfortunately, from this angle,
He gave
because
me
of
that.
the
He gave me
peg in
that.
his
So
eye,
Mr.
I
Angus
bought,
Young.
like he's
I
wearing
bought
a
him
high
this
heel.
for Christmas or birthday one year, so
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great way to end the episode.
Yeah,
so
so-
there you have it, guys. It doesn't matter. Bon Scott.
Oh, I
or
forgot to say
Brian
something.
Johnson.
I wanted to dedicate this episode and the other 2 episodes that we did to my friend Gina. That she's a really
Big.
big,
an
big,
AC/DC
big,
hater.
big ACDC fan. So this is for you,
Fan.
Gina. Love you.
So again, for Dave, Papo, Luis, and myself, Andrew, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave any comment, and hit the bell.
hit the bell, cling, cling, cling.
I said that before, you guys didn't hear.